You learning the gun. The Commonwealth lacks any sort of institutional justice could rub you yourself with arson which usually ends with the perpetrator dead.
Time for us to get started, so I'll give people the last couple minutes to get logged in. Go ahead and get to whatever file you had made notes on yesterday when you were working.
This a warm spot with a cold beer. Oh boy.
Are assigned and not turned in. I don't know if you manually turn this in, or that's why it says that, or if when you finish the form it tells you that you turned it in, but if you turn in your form for the confession and indicate you want to get that done so that I can put those in. I went through and looked at them, but I didn't write them on another piece of paper, put them in the gradebook yet, so I have to do that, or I have to at least open up the gradebook on a different computer so I can enter what the grades say this screen to that screen. So just so you know, I am looking for that, and Anthony, if this is such a, if you're not here for all of that or any of that, we need to talk individually about whether or not it's worthwhile for me to try and go back and do it. So I need to know whether you were actually gone for all of that or just a part of it. If it's just a part of it, I don't see why you can make up the reading that you missed and then do it. But if it was all of it, then that probably would be a problem. I usually don't make people go back and do it just because it doesn't work as well. Oh, okay. Well then do that, Anthony, that'll be work. Okay, keep me posted on when you get it done, make sure that I do that check. Alright, so that's the first thing. The second thing is a document. Perfect. Data document to talk about our brainstorm. I want to make sure that when it comes to our assignment, I have made a note that we also there for this. What I need to do And the brainstorm phase, you use that to select and organize. Once you look over your lists, select the three best topics that you can support using conclusions and evidence, arrange these order that you find most logical, and make it really go main idea and at least three topics. And then go in order from second strongest, weakest, in the middle, and third strongest. You have your choice of how you want to do that. And then with step two, we kind of already got through the yes phase.
Met at ballet class, and ever since then, we became inseparable. The damage was irreparable.
And then I did notice, or did write this step forward that you fleshed out. You have an introduction.
I don't exactly hate you,
Paragraph.
but if you're on fire
Connect all of your
and I had water,
with introductions, explanations, and so
I
on.
don't exactly
So I
hate
want to really quickly assemble, if you have some of these ideas, what kind of conversations you had or lessons and things that you learned that you thought could possibly be pulled into your paper. So, just because I'm curious what you found in the discussion. If you do have those, if you can put a note of one of yours, or what any of them that you have, and I'll see if I can arrange them into this document just for a discussion between us. Logan asked if we put the brainstorming part in the essay. The brainstorming is just part of the process. The actual end of the essay, what you would turn in, is not going to really include that. It would just be a part of what you would do in order for the essay to get written. So it's just a step on the way, but it's not something that you would turn in for it. So what I would like you to do is, if you found a lesson or something that you discussed yesterday, type it into the chat window, and I will see if I can get some of these assembled into here. Okay, so I've got these toxic, kill. This one we have. All these and we can discuss them. Ha ha ha, that is not an example. I know, Morgan, I was just being sort of not funny, like in a dad joke sort of way. Maybe it's a concept.
I hope you enjoyed that last song. Okay.
Alright.
Can you go to the one you just did? Yeah. The 50.
So, there are some rumors out there in the Commonwealth that I have heard. You know the one about the railroad? A group that actually helps. They help synths who want to escape the Institute, yeah?
These are some brainstorm views and achievable standard. Kids
It sounds kind of crazy, if you ask me.
We have a number of different things, some related, some different, sort of at a different angle, a different slant. Some that we might find attractive to our concepts of what we want to write about, some that we find less preferable just because they don't fit into how we would want to organize this. While these are three, like I said, looking for themes that were related to each article, I think that you can find information from multiple articles, multiple sources to support any of these, so that let's imagine that our main idea of the essay is something along the lines of, you know, that the idea is
Thank you.
as a tyrant. Now, what does that really mean in this sense? You can actually see it, but maybe you can't see it. I don't know what you're seeing. I just know what I'm seeing, which is mostly the chat window. Okay, so beauty is a tyrant. Now, alternately, I don't like that sentence, maybe. Maybe you say that you want to say something else. I need something that has to do with beauty and then some sort of value. This needs to be some sort of value. In this case, tyrant has connotations that are negative. So I'm looking in some way for a negative value. So an alternate way that I could write this is beauty has impacts people's lives. Has the potential. No, has the potential. Let's trade this. Let's beauty has the potential. Okay, so let's say that I had this for my idea. Maybe I didn't say beauty is the tyrant. I said beauty has the potential to damage people's lives. And then I'm looking for 3 ways that we could do that. And so I could take. Let me put another one in here. So, the idea here some sort of value. Essays usually deal with some sort of value, positive or negative. This is good, this is bad. We're really focusing in this case on the negatives. I suppose that if you really wanted to challenge yourself and write about the positives after reading these articles, I guess you could. I don't know how that would really work. But the whole point here is that I just found a number of things that seem thematically to be unified, and I thought that as a concept it seems to be one that really inspires people usually to go with this idea that beauty has negative effects on people's lives. So whatever your main idea winds up being, so this is something that we would call our thesis. Basically, I would write this as in my first paragraph as very clearly to talk about the direction my entire paper is going to go. Once I've done that, then the topics that I have to pick 3 topics. So I've got topic 1, topic 2, and topic 3. And I can pick those from the themes that are up above. So I could start, maybe one of my topics is, it's a concept. It's a concept that's arguable. Number 2, it could be the true perfection unachievable. And then maybe my 3rd topic that I wind up with is that from that, what I would do is I would be looking for 3 pieces of evidence within each one. Typically, we use quotations, but if it turns out that the quotation doesn't work because maybe the idea that I'm trying to talk about is bigger than a single quotation. So, for example, someone said Aylmer kills his wife because of the hunt for her perfection. There may not be a spot in that story where there's a great quote that supports that idea. If it turns out that that's the case, that you don't have a specific great quote that is going to capture the idea about how the pursuit of beauty, this true perfection, is unachievable, you may need to simply say in the birthmark, so I need to quotes in here. then quotations or evidence in each of these things, 3 pieces that I want to use in order to wrap my brain around what I'm going to write. When it's done, thesis for potential damage to people's lives. Topic number 1 is
Shit,
concept.
my
Try
mic.
to find 3 quotations that are going to support, or 3 pieces of evidence from the text that support the idea that beauty is arbitrary, that beauty is an impression or an interpretation. Beauty is unreproducible. It's inconsistent.
You're right.
One
I don't know what
person's
he's beautiful.
beauty is another person's nightmare, and vice versa. So I'd be looking for 3 pieces of evidence there. And the reason that one seems to be a pretty good starting place is I get to wrap my brain around this idea that beauty isn't consistently applied to everything. There's no one standard of beauty that we can all agree upon. I can look at something and think that it's beautiful, and you can look at something and think that it's hideous. This quite frequently takes place when, say, my wife and I look at a t-shirt and I think it looks awesome, and she thinks that she would be really unfortunate to be seen.
Lava shark and boy girl.
But, like, this as a concept, if it was something that was universal, then it would be different, but it's not universal, so it's a concept. And then if we go into this next idea, that true perfection, the idea of this perfect beauty is just really unachievable, because the world is imperfect, then you can kind of include that information before then you get to the negative and harmful effects of what beauty does. Okay? So from that, the way that it would work is you would just fill this in with information from the different stories, hopefully being able to pull information quotes. If you had a particular quote, you could put the quote for evidence number 1. What do you do when you're done with all of that? So in this case, once I move from outline the way that I would wind up doing it, let's imagine that I have a quote here. I have this throughout. Here's my outline. I started with, you guys asked about including these brainstorms and things in your paper. You don't actually want to include them because they're basically how you look into your eyes as you die. I would encourage JD just asked if we would write quotations from different stories, or do we choose one story and go off of that. You have your there's no one right answer. So, for example,
I'm going on a mission with Red Goku today.
Number 1,
That's incredible.
focus specifically on the birthmark by Hawthorne, and then have 3 pieces of evidence from the birthmark by Hawthorne that support that idea of what lesson you learned from Hawthorne. Yes.
Check this out, you. Look what I can do.
And have 3
Tanjiro,
pieces
what the
of
fuck is
evidence
wrong with you?
from
You're supposed to be the water
the
Hashira,
article
not
about
the flame
Madame
Hashira.
Yale.
No,
And what lesson
it's
you
not.
learned from Madame Yale.
It's sun breathing, not
Yes.
flame breathing.
Could you then, with
Why
part
should I
3,
believe you? After you
go
train with Red
into
Goku, you
and
have
say,
flame breathing? No,
evidence
you. I mean, he did want me to become his
the
Tsukuba,
Twilight Zone episode.
but I can't now.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a couple
Drop
different
this
ways
flame,
to
son.
do it. There's not one.
Come back with me. Let's try
From with me teaching you about
Sorry,
writing,
you
there's
actually have a
not
mission
one
worth taking.
specific
Oh my
way.
god! Ah!
Although I'm showing you a formula, the formula
another reason.
is adaptable. The formula is
Tanjiro's my super.
personalize it in the way that you interpret it. I'm trying to show you the formula so that you understand
Guess
the scheme, but this is where people's criticism of the 5-paragraph essay comes in. Because some teachers who teach the 5-paragraph essay necessarily, because they're added writers, will make it very strict, and they will force you to write this very strict 5-paragraph essay, so that the first paragraph, your introductory paragraph, has 4 sentences. The second paragraph has a topic sentence, then it has 3 pieces of evidence, which means that you're going to introduce the quote, use the quote, explain the quote 3 times. So that means I'm going to have introduce, use, explain, introduce, use, explain, and then I'm going to have a wrap-up sentence. That means that I'm telling you you have to have exactly 11 sentences for paragraph number topic 1. And and then 11 sentences for topic number 2, and 11 sentences for topic number 3. That's not real writing. I mean, it is, in a way, you're learning kind of the structure. You're not writing the way writers write, which a writer sits down and kind of plans this out like I'm doing right now with you, and then kind of works back and forth between the outline and then the reality of what happens when they write, and it doesn't always turn out to be 5 paragraphs. So I'm trying to balance between these two concepts, the very rigid concept of this outline that has a very specific amount in a specific direction, and then your flexibility to be able to interpret it.
The end.
I don't know that I answered that.
We should probably get back to using this.
I like that idea, Jaden, and I think that idea would work, to basically focus for each of your topics on reacting to a different part of this. You might, so for example, let me just imagine that outline, what that outline would look like. So
Good neighbors residents come from every walk of life, and from the settlement comes anyone strong enough to remain free from robots and ghouls to criminals and canetics.
So in that instance, topic number 1 would relate to one of the...
It's a concept.
To the birthmark by Hawkstone. In that case, if I 3 pieces of evidence from the story, so it could be a quotation, or it could be evidence, which is your summary of a particular event. So one of the things that's tricky here is, while I really need you to be able to use quotations, there are times when evidence itself is more effective. It refers to what happens in the story. All of that shows what you're...
Aliens are revolutionary. Marley attacked parodies for resources in the attack type to take over more territory in the world. All Aaron did and the scouts did was fight back. And you can't tell the people who are being bullied how to fight.
And so then we have... three pieces of evidence from the Man in Yale article, and then the third one, you wind up having because this you have the text of the actual script that you can go back to and pull. So now you wind up with 3 things. You say to yourself, okay, well, where's that dove act come from? Honestly, you're going to have a conclusion, and you're going to have an introduction, which I've not yet included into this concept here. So you know we're going to have an introduction. An introduction is going to include an attention-grabbing beginning. Sort of the thing that's going to attract people into reading the story. It's going to have a spot where it talks about your thesis, which in this case we have decided could be something along the lines of using it as research for the damage of people's lives. So put that in here as my thesis. And then it leads into topic number 1, topic number 2, topic number 3. In my conclusion paragraph, I wind up repeating my thesis. Yes, I know that sounds boring, but it's part of essay writing. So we repeat our thesis before we do the final wrap-up. Now, in that wrap-up, I find the spot where I could include...
Well, isn't this fun?
I quote, no wonder our ideas about beauty are so distorted. Is that right? If you remember, no wonder our ideas of beauty are so distorted. I would have to go back and check that. But I could imagine wrapping up then by referring to the Dove commercial as my final punch at the end of the essay to just sort of tie it all together. No wonder our ideas about beauty are so distorted. When this is all said and done, what this outline really represents is a number, no wonder a perception. Perception is so much better than ideas. I wonder our perception of beauty is. Okay. So, you get like that give you the final punch. So when I'm looking at then this particular outline, what it really represents in terms of you actually having to write it is that there's going to be roughly 2 to 3 sentences here to get people into the essay. How do you do that? Talk about everybody wants to human nature to want to both spend millions of dollars on beauty products and having their hair done and doing their nails and doing makeup, and they spend countless hours working on their eyeliner before they go to the guns. All of those things are very important because beauty is such an important part of people's lives.
People go burn.
Daniel Hawthorne, the scientist Aylmer, is so obsessed with his wife that he can't see past a single blemish of her cheek. Then you find 3 quotations and evidence, and so then you introduce each quotation. When Aylmer gives her a potion, then quote, there's the quote, and then, like, so you have roughly 2 to 3 sentences for each piece of these evidence. And then at the end of that paragraph, you transition to the next paragraph. In the article that describes Madame Yale, and you have 3 pieces of evidence from there, quotations, summary, etc. So it basically builds itself with an outline like this. Does everybody see how the outline process works so that you actually have a skeleton to go from? And that this is the research part. You actually have to find what those pieces of evidence are. I know that there's going to be things in the story. Maybe I know it's nice, like, for example, I might be looking for a quote from Hawthorne about first, so like this is my idea that I'm looking for, Aylmer's obsession with an inability to accept the small imperfection. So that might be the first thing I focus on, so I might go back and look for that. I know third thing is Aylmer's single-minded devotion to her infection kills her. Middle here. Not sure what I do. Third one. I'm trying to think of the third one. Is Indian. Is okay, essay reality. An essay reality here is that there are times that you don't have 3 pieces of evidence. Let's say that I do only have 2 for this particular one.
So, there are some rumors out there, common law, that I've heard. You know the one about the railroad?
I'm laughing at the comment that I received that someone who's playing video games. Yeah, someone, you know who you are. Someone, I have said it before and I will say it again, the karmic law of the universe. It's coming. That's all I'm going to say about it. Knock yourselves out. Play video games all you want. See how that goes for you. At the end of the day, the universe will pay attention. Even if I don't. You won't recognize how that works, but I'm not naming anybody's names. I'm just saying one word in response to that. Karma. Don't worry. I don't have to say it. Karma. So anyway, on the subject of what you could do, let's imagine, for example, that I can only think of 2 things from the first one. So I get rid of this one, and now I really only have 2. Now if that's the case, then this particular topic would be weaker potentially than my other topics. So what I could do is rearrange, in this case, to hide my weakest in the middle behind one of my stronger topics. Remember I told you that I like to hide the weakest one in the middle. So I only have 2 pieces of evidence from that article. So now my Madam Yale article becomes number 1. And I have 3 pieces of evidence there. I usually try to, if it's the case that I have 2 pieces of evidence.
Why so
one,
life?
I usually then try to, at least for one of my 2 other ones, compensate by going extra and having 4. Not necessarily always, but the idea here being a balance between roughly 3 reasons for each source material. Okay, and so if I think that the Eye of the Beholder episode was a pretty powerful episode that I would refer to to explain stuff. So I think that
Lots of shark boy girl. What is wrong with the name?
Since the birthmark not being very persuasive, you can balance it by over-explaining on one of the other ones. Does that make sense to everybody? Does everybody see how this is going to wind up working out? How many points is it? Well, I put it in. Hold on, I gotta look at the. Keep in mind, this is completely arbitrary. The number of points is completely arbitrary. I don't know if you realize that, but like, as a teacher, I can pick whatever points I want for anything. So I usually try to weight my stuff so that it would be roughly 8 points would be roughly a single thing. The more time I spend on it, then it would be multiples of 8 usually. For this particular one, when I put it in as... I don't think I put it in yet, honestly. Oh, I did put it in. I put it in at 47 points, which is that rubric that I gave you, but I dropped it to half, which puts it in at roughly 24 points. And I am not confident that it's going to get graded before this trimester, so it probably will go into the next trimester. My expectation for due dates is I would like to think that it could be done by next Friday. However, if it turns out that I'm not going to get graded by next weekend, then I probably would accept it after that as well. But it depends on where we're at time-wise. So in my mind, I would say we have roughly until next Friday before we can get it done. I honestly, planning-wise for class, if Wednesday we're doing Star 360, we're going to have time for to work on it. And then I would think Thursday and Friday we'll have time to work on it also. We're going to have time today to work on it, maybe if I stop talking, which you might not be lucky enough for that to happen. So that's kind of the direction I'm going. I feel like I always give you enough time. At least I feel like I try to give you enough time. I don't think that I ever give you short of an amount of time that makes you feel like you can't get it done. So I will always try to work with you to make sure that you have to go to the event within the time frame that you are given. I always try to do that. Alright? Other questions that people are asking. Does the explanation give you... I'm actually doing it right now. Go ahead and go. I'm going to link my... see it. If you want to take anything out of it, like structurally, if you want to steal my outline just so that you have an outline that you can flesh in, you're more than welcome to do that. I am not, like, our discussion is really meant to help you give yourself a direction. I'm going to save that. You guys will have access to see it. You won't be able to edit it. You can always copy and paste it into your own document if that's what's going to work for you. And what I mean by that is if you wanted to copy and paste this thing here, you can. And then you can just replace it with the quotes that you find. And then you build from there. This is a different way of writing, really, than what we did with NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo, when we write narratives, you sit down and you just plug away at what's going on in your story. Writers do outline, though. I don't want to make you think that this idea of a purposeful plan is not what writers do. I think I told you the story. Did I tell you the story of Roland Smith coming out of school? Years and years ago when Roland Smith came to our school. Anybody? Yeah, great. I don't know which one's true. I got yes. Alright, so just, we haven't had an author in a number of years, but we had Roland Smith twice. He's at our school, and he's the one who wrote Thunder Cave. You probably remember, did you read Thunder Cave last year, or did you not? Yeah? Okay. So Roland Smith, the way that his process is he actually sits down with an idea and says, I'm going to write a story about a boy who goes to Africa and follows his dad to Africa. That's what I'm going to do. So he gets this idea, and that's the direction he knows he's going to go. Well, then he does research. He goes and gets books about Africa, and he starts to get the idea for what his plot is going to be. And then he seriously puts index cards. He uses index cards. He has a wall in his office, and he starts to put index cards up to the events that are going to happen. And so he basically makes the entire story as index cards. The class time is over? I think the class time should have been first. Hold on. I actually do need to do something, so let me quickly look through who I have in class, make sure I have, because I've got, let's see. If I don't do attendance, they're going to be
Well,
upset.
isn't this
Not that's the first time. Alright, so, Kizzy, you're here. Haley, I saw. Do I see Bree? I don't see Bree. Oh, I do see Bree. What about Everett? Everett? Naya, Dave, Landon, Sean, yep. And if I say your name and you don't yell at me, then I might call you after. So you probably better make sure you don't. But I feel good. Oh. Wrong thing. Logan, I saw.
I need to download the
just as he gave life to me, he gave life to me.
Yelp. Here, Eli's here, Luke's here, Brendan's here. So I got Abby, Lily, Jose, Julius, Golden. Actually, just twice, by the way. Abby, Lily, Jose, Julius.
Our technology must seem pretty advanced by your standards.
Dr. Fillmore.
I think that was enough excitement for, well, ever. Thank you, really. I'll make sure I understand Father is anxious. So, what can I do for the future director of the Institute?
It must be a challenge to make
That's what they do with
We
Pixar.
scratch and
Remember we
scrape
talked
for
about how they
every
use
precious
storyboard.
ounce of
They
voltage
basically
that
take
we
the
can.
ideas of the story,
Over
they
the
write it out, they
years,
put it on a
we've
map, and
learned
then they
a
say,
few
is this
tricks
going to
that
work?
help supplement our
No,
power
but
budget.
try redoing
When
something else.
necessary,
So
we
Roland
tap
Smith gets
into
to the
some
point where he
sources
has
on the
this entire
surface.
wall of
We take
story
only what we
that
need.
is basically his outline.
Fortunately,
And then he spends
advanced
6 months
systems is always
writing the
working
story.
on new
So he
solutions
sits
to
down
generate
from
more
the
energy.
outline, looks at
It's
the
a good
outline,
thing,
first
too,
thing that's going to
because the
happen
demand is
is
always
that,
increasing. You
what's
don't
his
even
name?
want to know what a single use of the molecular DNA.
Alec.
What's on your mind?
The jewel.
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Goodbye, then.
Green. I mean the great green jewel of the Commonwealth. It's Diamond City Radio. Next, I was gonna play Ella Fitzgerald, I guess, because it's here. It is. Okay, bye.
books where they ruin the first chapter by writing on the back of it, like the text on the back of it. But you remember he starts off with Jacob discovering his mom gets killed, and then Jacob needs to figure out how to go find his dad and all that sort of stuff. So he's got this whole thing outlined, and then he just flushes it in. For 6 months, he writes for 6 months, flushing it in. That's how he winds up writing. That's his process. So he's able to do that because in the market of children's books, the way it works, he's well enough known that he can say to his editor at Scholastic or wherever it is, they've made an agreement with him. He's successful enough at writing books that they can say, hey, we want another Roland Smith book. And he says, all right, I got this idea for a series called IQ. And then he doesn't know what's going to happen in IQ. He just says, it's going to be about, I don't even know what, because I never read it. But he throws the plot out there, and then he gets a year to work on it. And in that year, he'll spend 3 months researching, 3 months outlining, and then 6 months writing, and then he'll be done with the book by the end of the year. And he does that process every year with a new project. Sometimes he does it multiple times in a year. When he does the book series like IQ, he might plot out the whole series and then breaks up the writing chunks into the different books so that it can be published. After he gets a book sent out, then he winds up editing it and all that sort of stuff because the editor gets it, and they go back and forth through the kinks and story. But you get the idea. He starts from an outline. And so when we are looking at this particular thing, when we are on our outline here, what we are looking at then is a starting place for us to go with and be able to flesh in the rest of the essay. You sat down right now and started with an introduction to the quote, use of the quote, like you'll fill it in. That's how it works. You don't have to write topic number 1 first. You can write topic number 3
I understand mass fusion
You can write
is a
topic 2
success,
second. You write
despite
topic 3
feelings
third.
of
It's totally up to you.
speed.
You don't have to write in order. That's something that people don't realize. They think that you got to start at the beginning
That's where
and end
Dr.
at the end, and
Fillmore
that's the way to do it. But
I'm
no.
quite
When
pleased.
you're writing an essay like this and you have an outline, you can start wherever you want. If you feel like writing your conclusion first,
The Brotherhood's
knock out the
intervention must
conclusion
be
first.
placed in
That's
a
what
larger
makes you feel
context,
happiest,
however,
then do that.
given the penchant for hoarding technology.
Alright, questions
Future
from you
conflict
about what
with
direction is it going to go. You, at this point,
After
need
all,
to
keep
fill in the
advanced
outline with what you're going to
technology
pursue.
in common.
In other words, quotations or evidence
also
that you think are going to work.
I
You don't have to use my outline. You can make up your own outline. But you need the outline with
I'm
roughly
wasting time.
3 objects, 3
Whatever it is.
pieces of evidence per
certainly hope so.
topic.
While you
That
were
way
working
you have
with Doctor,
a substantial
Johnson
amount
was
of
tasked.
evidence to support what you're trying to say. If
It
you're
was
really,
supposed to be.
if
There
you have
was
found
no
a topic slightly
somewhere
different
along
than
the way,
what,
I'm sure I'll
you
be
don't have to write my topic. Like, pick your own topic. It needs to be something that is going to work for you. But the focus here is that beauty and its effects. The effects of beauty is really the direction that I was trying to steer you so that you could take that in your own way and go the
From what
right
I hear,
direction.
that road south to Battalion
Most motivated to write. If you are concerned that you have a topic that you don't, if you have a topic that you are not sure about, you want to ask me, you're more than welcome to ask me. So, in my mind, at this point, and I know that that means that you don't have a huge amount of work, my intentions were that you would be able to...
What's going on?
Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken have decided that they've taken control of it.
I'm sure they'll calm down.
I know.
It's one thing to protest, but this is going way too far.
Look, I can see that you're angry, but please, talk to them before resorting to more violent measures. I can unlock the maintenance tunnel that leads to the bioscience observation room. From there, you should be able to communicate with Higgs and Loken. If you can't reason with them, you can use this holotape to access the command functions on the observation room terminal. That should give you some options. Just please, try to talk to them first. Use violence only as a last resort. Here we are.
Ticket to Pokemon Go Tour.
There, turn it on.
Just let me touch it!
I'll be good with you in the class period.
Attacking. when it all happened to her.
That's it. If you've come to change our minds, then you're wasting your time.
I had a more direct solution.
Oh, really? So by all means.
Father believes in me.
No. Without experienced and...
We seem to be at an impasse.
Then there's nothing more to talk. Who's that in the control room? Father's heir apparent. He made it past your impenetrable defenses. What if you got that far? Compose yourself, man. We've always known the risks, but we are still in control.
In October 2005, Kesha and her producer Dr. Luke attend Nikki Hilton's birthday party. He doctored, get her, and took her back to his hotel room and asked her while she was unconscious. The following day, Kesha rang her mom in. Dr. Luke also uploaded this picture on his Twitter profile, which he deleted when the things got dirty. This is Kesha. She was only 18 when it all happened to her. In October 2005, Kesha and her producer Dr. Luke attend Nikki Hilton's birthday party. He doctored, get her, and took her...
Is someone the order of the Institute? You must be destroyed. Sustaining damage.
Morirá.
Stories about, well, it's some big contraption that's being built out there in the Commonwealth. No one that's mentioned it, they don't know what it does. Not for sure. This next part, well, I mean, it's just people talking, you know. It doesn't make it true. Not necessarily. But it's been said. Well, it's something to do with the Institute. Trying to blow it up. Or make it disappear. Or something. If I were you, and I saw this thing, well, you better believe that, you know, I'd run the other way. How about Johnny Mercer? I kind of wonder if this one is supposed to be a joke. Does anyone know?
A squad that's listening. What happens to Andrew Garfield after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home? So according to a real 3 scene which was actually never filmed, he goes to Gwen's grave to tell her that he found his brothers, that being Toby and Tom.
We don't
he also
like
says that he
violence.
caught MJ and can finally forgive himself for what he did to Gwen, even though she's still 6
In the
feet
short
under
term,
and cannot hear him.
I'll
But I
see that the
guarantee
message
that half of them would have cried at that. I know I would have cried at that. I know you would have cried at that. I know everyone would have cried at that. What happens to Andrew Garfield after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home? So according to a real deleted scene which was actually never filmed, he goes to Gwen's grave to tell her that he found his brothers, that being Toby and Tom. He also says that he caught MJ and can finally forgive himself for what he did to Gwen, even though she's still 6 feet under and cannot hear him. But I guarantee that half the cinema would have cried at that. I know I would have cried at that. I know you would have cried at that. I know everyone would have cried at that. What happens to Andrew Garfield? Doesn't have to be this way. Doesn't have to be this way.
Whoever sent you, this wants you to know.
This kid, you ready to work on your own? The rest of the class. 300年経って世界の勇士。お前の名を聞かせ。300年経って世界の勇士。お前の名を聞かせ。300年経って世界の勇士。お前の名を聞かせ。300年経った世界の勇士。お前の名を聞かせ。300年経った世界の勇士。These are a list of characters that SCP-3004 just beats the hell up. I don't know, this video can get like 5-10k likes, I'll scale him. He slams Scarlet King on his neck. He is destroying the Leviathan. Comp Goku is nothing compared to 3004. Super Tank gets up like you're unlocking, you're big, but you're still getting destroyed. And Archie Sonic as well gets destroyed. These are a list of characters that SCP.
How would this have affected human civilization? Dragons being real and flying and burning the village. Here is one scenario. Now I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, if dragons were real, which type of dragons would be real? As you know, there are multiple types. Yes, thank you, Francis. I almost fell as the dragons in so you're going to have different ideas of what a dragon is. So for this video, I will focus on European dragons instead of the Chinese. This isn't because I like one over the other, it's because the contrast between these two is like the difference between a Yappy Chihuahua and an aircraft carrier. A scenario involving a real Chinese dragon is basically just the ancient legends from which the dragons came. To vastly oversimplify for the sake of time, Chinese dragons are practically godlike. The dragons can control the weather, the season, and involve a deep amount of understanding of religion from where they originated from. While European dragons are monstrous and animal-like, Chinese dragons have a vast source of... How would this have affected...
If you had 5 minutes to finish this whole fried chicken with a bestie, who are you calling? I got that. If you had 5 minutes to finish this whole fried chicken...
Yeah, someone was. Look, hey, crazy, man. Hey, you don't see the sweatshirt right here? That's myself. Dude, you lose your seat. Dude, you don't have to be a dick about it. Go ahead and sit in the chair. Bro, are you seriously gonna go there, bro? This is only one way back, bro.
It was bad enough when Wallace reacted so poorly to our arrival. But
Is that the last, bro? If it wasn't, it's supposed to be funny?
I
You're a
know
comedian now. You don't look like Dane Cook to me, bro.
I'm not sure it's worth putting ourselves in harm's way.
You know, there's no problem, man. Let's just go sit on the table. Get your jacket. No, we're not gonna go to see your pussy friend. Those gym muscles aren't scaring anybody, you know. Oh, hey, please. Let's just go. No, we're not gonna go. This man insulted you. We're not gonna leave until he apologizes. It's okay. Hey, we got a problem here? No. Yeah, we got a big problem.
Once they realized how smart he was and what an asset he could be for Phase 3, they watched pretty closely.
You know what, man?
I think they even better the scientific
I
material
fix this whole thing. I ordered some nachos, the explosions, the ones that's got 4 cheeses. Let's eat them together. Look, you know what? You take them. Let's go.
Oh, we're not going anywhere, Jet. This whole thing will be over in a jet.
Hey, how about this?
No argument from me.
And you and your boyfriend apologize to Big
There's
Ricky.
just,
And then go
well,
jerk each other
I
out in the
was
parking
thinking.
lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, you're right, CJ. That's a lot of homophobia coming out of a very angry man. You need to go get that looked at by a trained
trained professional. But since you have escalated this whole scenario by bringing what I can only assume is an unlicensed firearm into this public place, endangering the lives of all these innocent people, I can no longer, in good conscience, walk away and jerk anyone off. I'm afraid we ain't going anywhere.
It's time for you to get out of here, pal.
Yeah, someone was.
Mr. Wallace, I'm here to talk to you.
You're another one of them, aren't you? Are you a robot?
Don't be ridiculous. Of course I'm not a robot.
That's exactly what a robot. I've heard all the stories.
What can I say to convince you that we're not going to hurt you?
That you're leaving and never...
Hey, just calm down.
If I wanted to talk, I wouldn't...
Just shut up and listen to me. We're not here...
See? I knew it!
Okay, look, we're out of time here. Institute, this is Dr. Thompson. I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a synth relayed to my coordinates offset by 5.3 to subdue our subject. I appreciate your help with the situation outside.
All systems nominal.
We have to get this man back to the Institute. I expect Father will want a report from you.
SMGs to use. Right now, it's easy to control. It's very, very consistent. And it's...
Let's get end it all out here.
Thanks for coming back, Ghost. So I can kill you all over again.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
20 credits for the helmet. Out of check.
I wonder if it's a reaction to their recent dietary changes.
I heard that it was soldiers.
Later, older and less cool versions of me.
Old? Hey, I'm from the future. To me, all you guys are ancient history. Good to know there is a future, and men like you to carry on the good fight.
Bye, guys. Next time you should hang around longer. We can start a bridge club or something. Come on, Misty. Time to drop you off at Supervillain Daycare.
Thank you, Spider-Man. You should be proud to know your legacy is being upheld across
At this point, there is one.
Yeah, those guys were all right. But you have to
And I
admit,
think
with 4 different Spider-Men,
it is time to announce our
one thing
presence
I
to the
know for
Commonwealth.
sure,
To request
of
that
all of
they
us,
do not interfere with our plans. You should be the one to do it.
chocolate, but oh,
Yes, that is one thing. And if you are to be the new director of the Institute,
chocolate, but oh.
we've prepared some remarks for you to record. Once you're finished, we'll broadcast them to the entire Commonwealth.
This is not for the faint of heart. Ted, give us...
It's quite
Oh,
simple.
and geez.
I'm
My
sure
coach
you'll
told
be
me
fine.
the balloons.
We are the future. Oh, we're on above ground. These Tuesdays. Dire consequences.
For years now, you have suspected that the Institute still exists. That we are among you. It is true. But it is not the whole truth. We're here. And we are the future. Our superior technology represents the future of the Commonwealth. Today, we activate our nuclear reactor, ensuring that we will persevere long after the world above ground ceases to exist. Ensuring that mankind has a future. We have no desire to interfere in the unimportant details of your lives. We simply insist that you do not interfere with Institute operations. To do so would result in dire consequences. Rest easy. Know that the future is in safe hands, and that mankind will thrive under our guidance. Sean.
Well, that was interesting. Now it's time to make... How would you feel?
I could use some fresh air.
A quaint phrase. The radio station. If we'd like... Before we... I've been assured. Report back when...
Wonderful insight. You must be a wise man, your mentor.
Well, sometimes he's a downright fool, but usually he's the best man I know.
Wonderful.
You hear about the battle between the Brotherhood and the Institute? The one at Bunker Hill?
Father has done remarkable
Hi, little girl. Nice to meet you. This is my friend. He's a boy. He's 17 years old, and he can kick all of your ass.
18 next month, baby girl.
Anyway, we were sent here to look for a gay Hashira. Would that be... The opposite of gay. I have 3 wives.
Gayest Hashira around. That's why you can't get big. You got a gunshot in your eye.
You kinda do. Someone nutted on you. Well, you were sent here to find me. Welcome. This is the red light district, alright? But you're gonna have to come along on our quest. We're on a quest to get my friend here laid.
Not that I'm having a hard time or anything.
Well, if you're gay, why don't you just... I'm not gay. I have 3 wives. Whoa! Go. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
That's 2 o'clock, dumbass.
Oh,
Enjoy
thank
your
you.
trip to the big city. It's done then?
Guys, that's Bubblegum Hashira. I know her. She's got these big bazookas. I wanna... Hi, little girl. Nice to
We've
meet
all
you.
worked for. After all your efforts, the time has finally come to start our reaction. No longer will we be forced to compromise to survive. No more will we need worry about outfit Institute is now truly mankind's best hope.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna kill you later.
All of you.
Son.
After all the... Yes. There's more. The directorate.
Whoa. Hi, Tony's a rock. Gibbs. Oh, my old earpiece. Wow. I lost some trip down to DC. I saw the sign, and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
Oh, Jack, turn up the music.
6 years later, we're still a bunch of drunk singing in a band.
Check it out. My old Sim Chunks.
Oh, from when you tried to take the band for a joyride.
Wait, we had a raving since the wet wild. My swimmies.
Every bad boy.
May I be the first to go?
I feel like that was during that time Hospital in DC. I wonder if it's still here. Map? Hospital treasure? Looks like the Goonies, but with 3 Asian boys. 3 inoffensive Asian boys.
I'm happy to be here, Doctor.
I don't even remember what we ate.
Right now, we're all here because it's finally time to stand up for ourselves.
Let's not be dramatic, Justin.
Back to assert ourselves. Talked about all along. Moving speed? With the reactor now online, we have the ability to not only expand synth production, but to project power to a much greater degree.
I'm sure the reactor will improve everyone's life. It's a great accomplishment.
Yes, but the Directorate had...
Let's not beat around the bush. The Directorate has agreed that the Brotherhood of Steel...
As the incoming director, so, where...
I agree. We hit...
Good.
As director, we'd like your...
Synths are the Institute's greatest strength.
Well said. Thank you very much for your... That's all we have for this.
At last, we have power adequate to our needs.
Something to think about, I guess.
Apologies. I have an urgent message from Z-114. Your quarters have flooded, sir. There is danger of extensive damage to your...
Hey.
Apologies. I have an urgent message from Z-114. Your quarters have...
I'll go right now.
Time is of the essence. To avoid any undue...
Alright, it is about to go down.
I wouldn't be here if not for your son.
Just as you gave life to Father, he gave life to many of us.
X688 sounded very impressive.
It took our 5 so long to reach you. You must act now.
I'll warn them right away.
Thank you. I was hoping from once you secure the railroad against the Brotherhood.
Hey, third down crew. What's up? Got you, Rylone.
real deal.
C1's rebellion is ready, but we have a
Made it
crisis.
inside the Institute.
The Brotherhood's on their way here.
What? What are you talking about?
Ugh, you're still alive.
Jesus. Quick, take this.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else? Assume defensive... Position. Reinforce glory in the tunnel. Move! What the hell's going on?
I see you get cigarettes here.
The heck? What was that? Back up! I'm hit! Damn it!
I saw that only 8 of you had turned in your 26-5 quiz. So then I got to thinking, should I do a work session and not do it today? And I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that. So, bottom line is, because we've done 2 remote days, I'm going to give you until Tuesday afternoon to get that done. So get it done over the weekend. Okay? Or get it done Tuesday. Or get it done after the test. But either way, get that done by Tuesday afternoon. Okay? Alright, without further ado, let's get some food done.
Desdemona.
We're cut off. The catacombs are now our only way.
We got lucky so far. No one's died.
Your warnings, you and the others go help Glory. Win.
Mr. Winkle probably hasn't deactivated Go Guardian yet, so it's blocking us.
How many are blocked?
None of them got past me. Listen, promise me you'll...
Hold on. You'll make it through.
Bullshit. Isn't there...
I would die like that though.
It's kind of hard to put stuff in.
Hey, Ethan, I wouldn't play Apex. I can hear everything that you're saying.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Huh? Now I know what you're doing. Cahoot it, man. That's why you always move this.
I'll try it one more time.
I only have 12 joined, guys. Follow along. Alright, just make sure you follow along here. A-Rod, still blocked. A-Rod, just
Your
follow
mom.
along. Morgan, just follow along, and Yanni, just follow along. Because there's nothing I can do about it now.
Sir Davis, the name I still find
Turn in.
how about a bit of good news?
Wait, what was that?
If
You've killed the last of them, and you're still standing. I wish the same could be said for Glory. No, the Brotherhood under...
Sing it,
so
brother.
we eliminate the Brother... Fortunately, we've got...
What? But Red Glare requires a Brotherhood Vertibird.
Then Fixer will get you one.
Count on me.
With what happened to Glory, the Brotherhoods occupied the Cambridge... and
Not
Tom.
a leader of the Axis powers.
No one else can fly.
Who is not a leader of the Axis powers.
Hey.
I leave HQ for a second, and that's when the...
Yep.
You must have beat him. How bad was it down?
Glory's dead.
Shit, Glory. I'll meet you at the police. Want me back on deck, huh? I gotta admit.
Let's go then.
I'm all...
Like one big piece of crap. Who names himself a Bieber? Seriously. You don't have to have talent anymore to be a music star. Which one of those are correct? The correct answer is they were all correct. Nina gets on the leaderboard with Ryland / George, Zack Attack, Destiny, What was the turning point of the war in Europe? Battle of the Bulge, Stalingrad, Battle of the Midway, the Battle for Peter Griffin.
People of the Commonwealth. For years now, you have suspected that the Institute still exists. That we are among you.
Next question. What was the Atlantic Charter? What was the Atlantic Charter?
It is true. But it is not the whole truth. We are here. And we are the future. Our superior technology represents the future.
Next question. Oh, I'm going to skip that one.
We activate our nuclear reactor, ensuring that we will persevere long after the world above ground ceases to exist. Ensuring mankind has a future. We have no desire to fear the important details.
The invasion of Poland. The battle for Stalingrad. The invasion of the Soviet Union. The attack on Pearl Harbor.
To do so would result in
the correct answer is the invasion of Poland. Invasion of Poland. Rob DeBoss. Look at this guy. Zack Attack. Destiny. Ethan. Ryland / George. Your top 5. Your leaderboard, folks. Who was not a famous leader for their respective armies in World War II?
Hey, Tom.
Man, how do you live up here? There is a million ways we could be monitored right now.
Under our guidance. Relax, Tom. You'll be all right.
Right. The police station is... But as promised.
Let's go.
Prepping that vertibird for takeoff.
Right.
So first, I can't believe...
Sure.
Rommel led the Axis powers. Franklin D. Bisping was a totally made-up name.
Die.
That should have been obvious. Now I'm going to skip this one. Next question. What was the Manhattan Project? What was the Manhattan Project? are correct. Next question. Why are the Chicago White Sox so incredibly bad? They truly enjoy being average. Guaranteed rate fields. What kind of name is that? All 10 of their fans enjoy going to their games. And who are the White Sox? They are all correct. Who are the Tuskers, Shannon? From Avengers, Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars, Leonardo DiCaprio, or Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Hold on. By Three Sons.
Correct answer is Leonardo DiCaprio or Arnold Schwarzenegger. And one of you picked Jabba the Hutt. Seriously, one of you. If I find out who that is, you just failed the trimester. Alright, next question. What happened at the Munich conference?
Schmelter Schmaxon.
What happened at the Munich?
Holy! Oh!
You might not know.
What happened at the Munich conference? Brick gave Hitler the deadline to avoid the war. Come on, man. What do you think Hitler discussed bagels? Come on, man.
Bagels and tea? What's wrong with bagels and tea?
Sorry, A-Rod. Next question. What country was the first to use the Lend-Lease Act? Germany, Great Britain, Soviet Union, America.
Did the job go wrong? Or was it so successful that no one knows about it?
Correct answer is Great
There
Britain.
may never be
You are correct.
Which makes it kind of hard to, report on it. Maybe.
What was the turning point in the war in the Pacific? Midway, Okinawa, Battle of Lake Gulf, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki.
So, here it
Midway,
is.
Okinawa, Lake Gulf, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki. Battle of Midway is correct. Next question. Which of the following battles destroyed the majority of the Japanese fleet in the Pacific? The Battle of the Midway, Guadalcanal, or the Battle of Leyte Gulf?
Yeller.
Correct answer is the Battle of Leyte Gulf. Good job. Will anybody catch Rob the Boss? Don't know. Next question. I'm gonna skip this one. Why was George Patton demoted from he slapped the bejesus out of a soldier? Next question. At what conference did Hitler gain territory without using force? This should be an easy one.
Whatever this is. Here's the deal. After flight prep, we take it from the inside.
Tell me about my role.
Your job is tricky. You gotta find a way to place these explosives on the gas bags. Then get the hell back. Flight prep is going to. So if Paladin shows.
Okay, good job. Kennedy, you got that correct. Next question. Island hopping is known as what?
So the Megan said, right. Quick, Master Swiss.
Copy is known as, good job, blue or green. Next question. The German general in command of Axis forces in North Africa was Eisenhower, Patton, Hitler, Rommel. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself. Mute myself with the dog barking, so I'm just gonna play the game. What was the string of French and British bunkers along the German border called? This is a tough one. We need to cover this a lot. Eastern Front Line, Maginot Line, Line of Dunkirk, or the Northern Line. Good job, guys. Maginot Line. Good job. Dana, climbing. Destiny, Rob DeVos. Those are your top three. Got four more. Using their own language's code, what did Navajo soldiers work as during the war? Correct answer is radio operators. Radio operators. Ooh, Destiny's nipping. 4 questions left. Genocide is known as what? Like not an entire group of people. Destiny is about 500 back. A little less than 500 back. Next question. What battle was known as Hitler's Last Stand? Battle of Midway, Battle of the Bulge, Battle of Stalingrad, or the invasion of Poland? Correct answer is the Battle of the Bulge. After that, after they lost there, that was pretty much it. They went back into Germany. Okay. Next question. What is known as appeasement? Question 11. What is known as appeasement?
This thing is safe.
Wow, one of you picked what you do when you drink a lot of water.
Hey.
What is it?
First things first. I picked up some Brotherhood goodies for you.
Merry Christmas.
More importantly,
If Rob misses this question, she could win the game. Come out of nowhere and win the game. Here we go. Last question. What pact freed Adolf Hitler to invade Poland? Alright. Your winner, third place Destiny. Alright, and then be ready for the test on Tuesday. That being said, good luck. Godspeed, and remember, may the force be with you.
Is X still activated? X added some health back. I've just got a restream. Guy with the Gatling laser first. Give me that. teabag on the losers. Their teeth. I'm out of here. 'Cause I really don't feel like fighting all those people. Oh Lord! Oh Lord! Oh Lord! Oh my Lordy Lord! Oh God! Tinker Tom! Run! Go, 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 go! Oh God!
Hostiles on the ground.
Talk to Desdemona. Not anymore. It's not gonna be like that anymore. Jump down, jerk even.
Okay. bit of news. I heard that a group of soldiers, is it ex-soldiers? Constabulary? What are we calling them now? Soldiers from the Brotherhood of Steel were spotted in the Commonwealth. Sounds like they were, well, they were kind of in trouble at the Cambridge police station. They were in pretty bad shape for a while. But those vault dwellers showed up and gave them a hand. Or a gun. Or some. The vault dweller helped them, is what I'm trying to say.
Tinker Tom's been looking for you.
Desdemona.
I thought by calling Red Glare I'd lose more good people. Comrades, thank you for keeping them and yourself safe.
You should appreciate it.
We still lost too many people.
Without you, though, it would have been far worse. But we're not out of the woods yet. If the Brotherhood managed to find us, you can bet your ass the SRB is not far behind. We've run out of time.
I have some things to do.
Understood.
One more hour until my shift ends.
I'm very busy.
Confirming presence of rogue variable. Mission details commencing. After the combat action at Bunker Hill, a statistically significant number of Courser sightings have been conclusion. Stopgaps.
Seems logical to me.
This unit's target death eliminate.
Progress. The door. Okay, so today, guys, we are going to look at our tests and do test fractions if you want. Well, if you to gain 0.5% back on each question. So, if you earn an A, that means you got a 26 or higher. Then you actually can leave because you earned it. If you got an A. If you did not get an A, you have to make corrections, and I'll show you how that works. And if you want to, even if you got like a low A and you want to get more like 100, then you can stay and do that too. In your classwork, there's called test fractions. You're going to complete it in Cami. You're going to open up your test. I think if I give you back your test, you can still open it. What if you guys came for and you have to do like 2 test fractions. So if you didn't get much lower than an A, you just have a few to do, so it shouldn't take you very long anyways. Let me return your scores. You can see your score with that one. Now, let's say some of you want to retake the test, like completely, for full credit. To do that, you have to do your test correction first. So to be able to have the opportunity to retake your test on Tuesday when you get back to school, you have to turn in the test corrections before that. So some of you might want to redo the test completely. Some of you might just, or if you don't want to redo the test completely, that's fine. You still have to do test corrections for the ones that you got wrong. Okay? So let's see. I know there are a lot of people chatting me. Don't leave yet because I have to take attendance So let me take a second before anyone leaves. But let me show you what this is. Here's the test corrections in Annie. It looks like this. So, for example, if you got number 17 wrong, I go to the test. You'd write down 17. Here's 17. Oxygen atoms. No. Sorry. Three molecules are compressed. And there's 2 in each molecule. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, or 2 times 3 is 6. Okay? So if you got that one wrong, on the test corrections sheet, you might say, I forgot to multiply the 3, or I forgot to multiply the coefficient. And the correct answer is D. Sorry, I have to read it back now. What makes it correct? D is correct because if you multiply 3 times 2, then you get 6 oxygen. So something along those lines. Things that I will not accept. If you put, like, if you got the one about, like, toasting bread and said it was a physical change, but when you toast bread, it's actually a chemical change because the bread is changing color, right? That's a sign that's a chemical change. It turns into a dark black if you burn it too much. But anyway, some people said that that was a physical change, not a chemical change. Well, if you just put, like, if you got that one wrong, and you just put, I guessed, and then tell them that it was actually a chemical change. And again, I gave you the answers on your quiz, so you know what the answers are. You can say why. And then you put science, something like that. You are not going to get your credit back. So you can't say that you might have guessed, like you weren't completely sure. But when you guess on a test, guys, it shouldn't just be like ABC, eeny, meeny, miny, moe. It should be like, okay, I don't know what this is, but C kind of looks like it could be the right answer. You should reason through why you pick. Even if you're making a guess, it should be more of an educated guess. Like, this A doesn't make sense at all. I'm thinking it could be C. You have a reason why you think it could be that answer. It should never just be eeny, meeny, miny, moe, I'm going to do this. Or without thinking at all, just being, I'm just going to put C for all the answers. Okay? Nobody should be taking tests like that. You should have some reason why you picked that one, even if you kind of had to guess a bit towards the end. So, if you felt like, oh wait, I put that bread when it's toasted is a physical change because I just thought that you were heating it up. So I would put that, I thought it was just being heated up. And then that could be why you made that answer. And then why is it correct? Well, I know that it's now a chemical change because it's turning into something new. Okay? Something like that. A lot of people got the egg one wrong. The egg one was like if you crack the egg with the shell, is that a chemical change or a physical change? I want to show you on the test. This one. Breaking the shell of an egg is an example of a chemical change since it is difficult to return the egg to its original state. This one might have been confusing, so something you would put on your sheet if you got this one wrong was, well, it said it was hard to return back to its original state, which is what happens usually in a chemical change. So I was confused by that. But it's actually, even though it's hard to return back to its original state, still a physical change. So this should have been false. It's not a chemical change. Because you're just breaking the shell, and the shell is staying the same. It's not becoming something new. It's just broken into pieces.
It's elephant Joe.
So you have to explain that on the sheet. Something like this. I was confused because it was hard to read the shell breaking the egg, and it's false because the shell is only broken, not changed into something. Okay? Alright. So, if you got a 26 or higher, you get to choose if you want to make any corrections or not, and you get to go. If you got a 25, a 26, you have to make a couple corrections and then you're done, you need to go. If you got quite a few wrong, you need to make at least half of your corrections. If you choose not to make them all, I advise you to make all the corrections if you can. You need to make at least half the corrections and then you need to now, what's the purpose of saying like, oh, I'm just fine with my C, I'll just accept that? That's not the point of today, if you're fine with your C or not. The point is that you actually look through what you got wrong so you can understand what the correct answer is and why it's correct. So we any misunderstandings that you have can hopefully be corrected, and I'm here to answer those questions for you too if you have questions. Okay? That's it. So I'm gonna mute myself. I need to take attendance, so give me like 3 minutes here before you leave. Or guys, like you got a 25 out of 29, just divide it. Calculate 25 divided by 29. It's going to equal a decimal. Multiply it by 100. Or you can just see, like, if it's 0.86, you know you got an 86. And 86 is a B. Anything in the 90s is A, 80s are B's, C's are 70s, D's are 60s, and anything lower than a 50 would be a 10.
What's the word? Let's see how many headshots you take, beauty.
New business model. We team up with a mortuary. You see what I'm going with this, right?
Just won't be the same. Oh, hi. It's part of the wrong. It's... Oh, my old hippie's wrong. I was looking at the doctor to see. Later, I'm a whole bunch of dorks singing in the band. Check it out. That was Sing Chunks. Oh, from when they tried to take the
joyride.
Wait! We had a bathing suit for a while. My swimmies!
People who say they don't like tags. What's with the tag? She's just real. What? Life seems super sad. I'm not gonna keep this thing. They're gonna shit all over my floor. Same person 2 weeks later. You one damn cat. I go everywhere with Mr. Whiskers, okay? Get a ticket to the Uncharted.
Alright guys, this is the people that I have absent. Your name is Eubanks, Zach, Kathy, Morgan, Lily, Jose, Grant, and Dayton. You are here. Let me know. At this time, if you got an A or higher, you can go.
Have you sent it to Josh?
Physical classes is 4 students, not 26, 27, and 28, or 29, and 1 thing. So anything below 26 is below. Can you see your grading group classes?
I see you're the DIA casualty.
Video 800.
Look at my screen!
Go back and so teleport.
Doesn't that make you like a child, right? You're engaged, not married, Toby. You didn't realize that half the marriages in the world are still arranged? I did not know that. But like,
So I'm going to keep everyone else for 5 more minutes right now here, and then you can work on your own.
Our families have known each other since
Make sure you stay on for the next 5 minutes. So
we have
you have
similar values. We're both not. We were babies together. That almost makes you confusing. You know, you should probably stop talking now, Cody.
We can tell only the guests who had fish got sick, so I can't say we had a lot of compliments on the chicken either.
4-1 for red meat.
From what I hear, the Rogue's simple battalion is a real menace. Not expected.
Nancy, radio dispatch. Tell them all RA units need to bring as much Zofran, saline, and Epi as possible. Captain.
This is our
Can I borrow 2 hands?
John Mateo, off. Cap. Help, please, please. No, there's still in there. Jeff and Kelsey, the bride and groom. You keep yourself taken care of. Medical, you don't look good. Take care of your bride. Oh, no, I'm okay. I've got most of it up. All over the bride. Come here.
Over here! Over here! Over here!
I have a statement.
We tried to do it, but it was too heavy.
Hey, Cap, these structures are aluminum, but they're bearing the weight of all these lights. He's got like 900 pounds on them.
Hey Jeff, how you doing? Big day, huh? Yeah. Can you tell me where it hurts? How much?
Sounds like his brain is overtired.
Anyway,
Is it time? Once we act, we have to.
Ready.
Good.
Engaging hostile life form.
All right. Please give me a few moments. I already have the coordinates. I simply need to update the relay. Your companions will arrive in a moment.
You did it. There's no turning back now. If they're not already onto us, they will be.
It's time to free the synths.
In this single, but first, it's a fusion. We get you down, and the whole... Get that relay working as fast as humanly possible. You'll need to pull us out once we're done with the reactor, and send out anyone that's unarmed. Institute personnel included.
You got it, boss.
All right, let's move.
how much I'm honey too?
We've been traveling for a spell. I was hoping to have some words with you.
Now's a good time.
I'm...
Feelings mutual.
I gotta say, you make it look easy. Some people, if a human in the real...
Well, I guess I'm a little lucky then.
What's done is done, and it doesn't matter for glory.
I had no idea.
I figured you deserve it. Since we're traveling, if you ever need to know...
I appreciate the trust.
Yeah, well, don't use the code. You know,
Hey. Heads up.
You called?
Hey there.
You know, I'm having second thoughts on the whole...
I read it all right.
Don't tell me...
Heads up.
Sure, I can help you out. You know, I'm having second thoughts on the whole recall code.
You can't trust everyone.
Yeah. Did I have you going? Don't take it personal. Look, I lie to everyone. Maybe I'm just another human that has people back home he wants to protect. Then again, maybe not.
Well, you're good in my book. Whatever or whoever you are.
I want... If you believe anything, believe this. That code I gave, the bitch of the problem.
Our superior technology represents the best hope for the Commonwealth. Today, we activate our nuclear reactor, ensuring that we will persevere long after the world above ground has ceased. Ensuring that mankind we have no desire to see unimportant absorbing lives. Operation. To do so would result in dire consequences. You may rest easy. Know that the future is in safe hands, that mankind will thrive under our guidance.
brother is floating.
You guys have spent 5 minutes, so you're free to go. If you want to stay on and eat the house, stay on.
Tex Beneke, folks. How about a bit of good news? You know, which I did. I know it's true. Not just something. Nick Valentine is back in town. He was gone for a while. Some people who are not well, they thought he might be dead or destroyed. Glad you're back, Nick. Even though we never really talk, like, ever. The next one, Bing Crosby. Enjoy.
Alright, if you needed a lawyer, you better call Saul and Matt Murdock. Who are you thinking? Now, I saw people saying that they'll pick Saul if they're guilty and Matt if they're innocent. Wouldn't you want the man that's able to get you out if you're guilty as your lawyer? Because no matter what, he's able to get you out. Now, you know that Saul will do for you no matter what you did. At first, I thought he was some cheap lawyer, but boy, was I wrong. Saul is a... Alright, if you need to go, you better call Saul. Now, I saw people say that the wouldn't you want the man that's able to get you out if you're guilty as your lawyer? Because no matter what, he's able to get you out whether you're guilty or not. Now, you can bet Matt Murdock was wanting to spend the day. But Saul will no matter what you did. At first, I thought he was some cheap lawyer, but boy, was I wrong. Saul is a guru. You better call Saul. That's what I'm going. Alright, if you needed a lawyer, you better call Saul.
Override from here. That command has to come from the director's personal terminal. You understand? You've got to do that part yourself.
Must hold the concourse. Tell the removal team to hurry. Get every one of our people out.
see you. You have me fooled. I really believe you were on our side.
Sorry, it's come to this.
You're sorry. You can't be that sorry if you're here going through with it. It's not enough that I tell me that.
I just want to watch this place burn.
It's hard to believe I'm related to you. Well, none of it matters now, I suppose. You'll accomplish your task and ruin humanity's best hope for the future. The only question left then is why you're standing here. I'll have no help.
Whenever you're done corpse squatting, I'm good to go.
Attention all personnel. Evacuation order issued. Authorization 1YR31. Please proceed to your assigned evacuation points. Thank you for your...
Hell yeah! Access granted! Now you should be able to reach the reactor. I'm pouring through up here. But we won't leave without you. Don't worry.
no-nos, which, out of context, sounds pretty funny. But I mean, she's a ghoul, so it's actually sort of, you know. Anyway, there was talk, so I hear that she was.
Guys. Wait a couple minutes here. See who we're missing.
I guess. Who knows though?
No!
Has it been a good day so far? Have you had to do anything difficult today in classes?
Haven, this isn't about you.
You suck at making weird noises, Deuce.
Just polite words, boys. Guys, I have to mute you.
Wants us to know what they're up to. Well, that's a message. You can stop anytime now. Phone call right tonight. I just can't.
Hunter. Today we're going to be talking about first aid. First aid. You guys know anything about first aid?
Put a band-aid on it.
Yeah. Band-aids fix everything, right?
You lost an arm, just tape it back together with a band-aid.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 3 band-aids.
No, use an ice pack. That's what school nurses tell you.
Band-aid and ice pack.
Fix everything?
Yeah, okay, so lose an arm, you say it just checks the flesh wound, then you tape it back on with